Yeah. Come on. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Sean Hicks coming at you here. A little midday money. Wednesday. WINS Day. Welcome on into the show. Like, subscribe, ring the bell here. YouTube. Facebook if you're watching. Winning free picks or picks of parlays. Super duper. In the chat, I loaded up the link to the podcast. So if you're not watching live, you can find it on iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, Amazon Music, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, wherever your favorite podcasts are found. Download the Midday Money Show. Give it a follow. Cost you nothing. Listen, you can spend $31.20 for a week in my place. You can spend nothing and give it a like, give it a subscribe, follow, download it, be part of the mid-money magic. Mid-money magic, is that something we could talk about? Anyway, Twitter, Mr. Sean Higgs. If you're out in the Twitter universe, come give me a follow. And let's go. I'm going to start with just a slight little rant. Just a slight rant here today on LeBron. And I saw that, all right, he broke Wilt's record, and he's like, well, I'm the best ever. Now, we all know he's not the best ever. Is he the best of this generation? Yeah, you want to give him a little edge over Kobe? I don't even know. Maybe. I don't want to say he's a compiler because he's played for so long and at a high level, right? Guy's been in a bunch of conference championships, for the Western Conference, Eastern Conference. He's got trophies. He's got MVPs. I'm not diminishing any of that. The fact that, I don't know, half of his time here in LA, he's not even going to make the playoffs. And you want to talk about guys in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Well, they're playing against postmen. And look at John Stockton couldn't play today. Look how tight his shorts are. Are you kidding me with the way these pansies are today? The load management crew? The load management mafia is telling you that the guys who played in the 90s, 80s, and 70s weren't tough guys. The cats who were smoking in the locker room and went out and, had odd jobs in the winter because they weren't making millions of dollars. Those guys couldn't play today. They would punch LeBron in his face and dunk over him. Really. Now, can LeBron play in the 80s and 90s? I think he could, absolutely. Is he Jordan? Is he even Kobe? That's a discussion. People always talk about who they've seen play. Newer generation. You caught the Last Dance Michael. That doesn't even sniff that dude. LeBron, best of the last. Because even Kobe was early. I don't know. You want to give LeBron a little bit of an edge? I'm not going to hate you. Talk about all-around player. Yeah, the guy's awesome. That's not the thing. Is he better than Jordan? No. Kobe? I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, we'll move on from that to a little recapping yesterday's action. 3-2 in the video with our college hoops. 144 and 123 plus 397. Hockey did go down 0-1 in the video. And there is that. Today's picks we'll do. We got a few today. Now, we'll start backwards. We'll start in the NBA. 31 and 35 in the NBA. Under Jazz 236. Nothing on the ice tonight with just a couple games. College hoops. Quite a few picks up here. Again, 144 and 123 plus 397 in the video. 344 and 318 on the season. 52%. I got to do a little better than that. Put a little money in our pockets, but it'll come around. Winning day yesterday. Winning day the day before that. Well, it'll come. We grind them out. Stony Brook, 3.5 Belmont plus 1.5. West Virginia minus a 3. Maybe it might be 3.5 now. These I wrote these in here last night after late night money. Alabama under 148.5. Utah State minus 2. And Utah Valley under 137.5. And also we threw the Chiefs in here plus 105. I think this line's going to move. If you like Philly, I think get Philly now. We saw it move earlier. It was 1. It went to 2. It flipped. It's 1.5. I think people are going to be betting Philly. That's just my opinion. I just threw the plus money out here. If you want my best play and all the props, they're up on the site. Again, 31.20 with promo code NFL, or you pay 34. I think it's 44 just for that game. I don't know. People don't like to, money management, but we know that's lacking here. People would rather go 6-1 in a parlay than 6-1 straight up. So there's that. Timmy, you got any NBA today, Mr. Tim?
Timmy, anyways, South Park. Yes, I do have some NBA today, as per usual. I'm taking the under in Cleveland. Cleveland's the number 1 defensive team in the league. Detroit's gone under in 8 out of their last 10. This is a under spot for me. Maybe even a Detroit team total under spot maybe as well. But I think that one's gonna be a lower scoring game. My best bet is in the Sixers and Celtics game, so that one's up there. The Spurs are playing, so we're gonna go ahead and take the over without fail. Even though they've gone under in 3 out of their last 4, they're still giving up a lot of points. I'm thinking Houston wins outright tonight. The Rockets, I took them plus 8. We just saw these two teams play. There's a 20-point win for the Kings. I'll take the flip side of it today. I'll take the Rockets, and I'll take the Timberwolves. You just got embarrassed losing, to a good Nuggets team at home, but 146 to 112. Yeah, go ahead. Give me the T-Wolves today. Plus, I got plus 3.5. It's up to 5.5. I don't care. I think they went outright.
I like the under net just because bad game, back to back. Utah's a tough place to play, and then coming out of Denver too. You come out of 2 places to play. That's why I kind of like the under in that game.
I still don't trust the Utah Jazz as a favorite.
Why would you?
They've covered the last couple of times, but still, I'm not. That's not something I'm necessarily interested in. And by the way, yes to West Virginia, yes to Utah State. Let's get it.
All right. You know what? I'm going to do a real quick, and then we'll get to the comment section. We'll do some props from the Monday show of late night. And these are just going to be some team props, or actually game props, I should say. I did the Eagles last night. Today I'm doing Kansas City. Tomorrow we'll come in and talk about it more. But these are just a couple game props I kind of like. I'm just going to throw them out here for everybody, just if you're watching. First TD game, non-passing. Obviously, I think it's going to be a rushing touchdown. But, hey, maybe we get a pick 6, fumble. Kickoff return on the opening kickoff. Who knows? Non-passing TD.
Or even a thick 6.
We like thick 6s.
Did you hear that? The one of the most highest bet first touchdown scorers is Kelsey, Jason Kelsey for the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah, he's got more money bet on him to score a first touchdown than the third string wide receiver for the Eagles, or the third wide receiver in the depth chart.
Who's that? Quez Watkins? I don't even know who that is.
Whoever it is, but he's got a center. A center has more money bet on him to score a first touchdown.
Yeah, makes sense.
Totally.
Because they're going to roll something silly out.
Never know. We'll see. But he can't really do anything with it, but I will see.
Game prop. Score every quarter plus 600. Yes. I don't want to say this is the easiest $600 you'll ever make on a $100 bet, but I'm down on this game. Or this prop, I should say. Over 1.5 fourth down conversions, minus 160. Little juice here. But let's be honest. We could have this by halftime. I said this the other day. We will have this by halftime. over 4.5, over 1.5 fourth down conversions. Any player 55-yard reception plus 250. So I'm expecting somebody to break a little yak yard after the catch action here. Plus 250. I'll take a shot. That's what I do at plus money. Game tied after 0-0. Yes. 2-point conversion attempt plus 105. Yes. Again, those are just a couple. I just, again, late night money is back. Started on Monday. And those of you just popping in, the show really started 2 weeks from now with conference tournaments. It was Sun Belt and some small conferences. And it was a little midday money show. Didn't really have a name. We called it late night money. Or I don't even know. Look headlines. I think I called it with conference tournaments with day action.
Yes, it was always look at headlines.
It's always look headlines, right?
Or it was look at headlines and late night money. I remember watching them. Both. I remember watching both of them.
Yep. So I guess we could still call it look headlines at night, but why not? Now it's just pretty much prop talk for this week. But the look headlines show, maybe I'll do it next week with I don't know next week. Next week might be just a kind of a buffer break until maybe it'll be a 2-week buffer, and then I'll come in with the late night look headline show daily because we'll have conference tournaments to talk about, and maybe I'll do that instead of I usually throw individual videos up on my Sean Higgs YouTube for the conferences as opposed to just loading them all up to winning free picks. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll figure it out. Who knows? You know. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we won't. Let's get to the comment side of things here. At the 12-minute mark, comment time. Not too bad. The other day we were at a 20-minute mark. Today we're on a 12-minute mark. Maurice is in the house here. Nice and early. Came in before the show started. Good afternoon, my friend. How are you? Iowa State minus 3.5. Let's get to the. I got the Thursday schedule up here because I'm an insane person here. So Iowa State. Plus, I mean, I think you need plus 3.5 there, right? Because West Virginia is favored there. So, heck, if you want to lay 3.5, I guess it's worth it because you'll be getting plus money. That's a 6-point line move there. Bama minus 1,000, LSU plus 10. What are we doing? Staying away.
Come on, Bama minus 1,000. Just wait for the lock of the day.
Come on. What are we doing? Auburn was in control of the game until technical foul changed the momentum. Yeah. Michael. Morning, noon, night. What is that, Michael? Right, whatever time it is, right? You don't even know what time of day it is when I do the shows now. Michael says CB Utah State for San Diego State revenge game. Great home court, ranked team dog. Yes, West Virginia already in the chat. Georgetown against Big East. I'm not going to say no to Georgetown. You want to do a little Georgetown? I totally understand it. I totally understand. It's a team that I just can't believe they're getting dozens of points at home on a road. And the other two you mentioned are right in the chat here, West Virginia and Utah State. It is unranked versus ranked teams this year, I believe, is about 70%. I think it's like 23-10 or something like that. I mentioned it on Saturday. It could go 1-1 tonight. It could go 1-2 tonight. The point of this is, and I said this yesterday, it is not about one game if you're betting. If you want to make money, it's not one game. It's an entire season. It's a month. It's a year. It's however long you're. So this is not just to do on a Wednesday night. This is Thursday, if it's available on a Friday. Definitely on Saturday you'll get it. Sundays you get it. If you were disciplined enough, you'd be making a fortune just betting that this year. Best Bets Team Money's in the house. How are you, my friend? Bad beat refund after the Bills fell asleep in the fourth quarter. Yeah, bad beat. We love our bad beat refunds. Yeesh. Michael, NBA taking the Wolves plus 5 money line. They got demolished by the Nuggets. Tim was mentioning earlier. They're 4-0 last one. Second leg of a back-to-back 5-0 versus Utah. It's a good spot after getting demolished, for sure. I kind of like the under. You give up 146, you want to come out and play some defense. Coming out of Denver is a tough travel spot. Utah's a tough place to play. I like the under. Best bet C Money had a good day. OKC money line. Indiana -4.5. Never in doubt. But today dogs are barred. Here we go. You got to throw the Indiana in my face because I had Rutgers. 1.5 point loser there. It happens. Would I go 6-5 yesterday? I think I don't even remember. A couple late losers hurt me, but Kim, greatest ever. How many championships you have? And LBJ Fulcher. How many championships do I have? Okay. Are you comparing me to LeBron James?
No. He's saying that the greatest ever equals how many championships.
Okay.
LeBron James falls short.
Well, I mean, I get that he was he brought a Cleveland team to the finals that had no right being there. I'm not saying the guy's not awesome or an all-around player. Like, well, he's better than Jordan because he passes. Well, he's also cost himself championships because he doesn't have the Michael and Kobe killer in him. I'm not saying the guy's not good. I mean, he's 38. He's having a great year. He's put in, 25, 26? But you can't say you're better than Jordan. Dude, Jordan took 3 years off and came back and was still the best. I mean, and again, these players were worse then. These babies now take off every day. What are you talking about? I think Jordan can come back and score 40 a game on these guys with the way they play defense. And that's another thing. Where's the defense in this league the last 10 years? I mean, my guy Anthony on Twitter, man, was like, how can you say, I'll take Kim off here so it says, okay, I'm lecturing him. I seen guys play when the totals were like 185. Totals are in 240s now. And I seen guys dominate. You put any of these cats, like I said about Steph, you put Reggie Miller in this league. I mean, freaking his dad in this league shooting threes. There's so many guys who shot threes back in the day who were good shooters when it was probably further back. I mean, and they play defense. They come up and they'd maul you. I know, and this is, you can go across any generation of comparing the way games have been played. Right? I mean, NFL, it's a passing league now, not as much running. Understandable. You're telling me that you can't roll guys in out of the 80s? I get 70s are way ahead of my time, but even some of those guys, you see the numbers. You don't think they'd be able to play and put up insane numbers in this league? Are you kidding me? 95, 96 Shaq in this league? Holy cow. Best bet, see my love LeBron. He's not better than Michael. He's 2, Kobe's 3, Magic 4. Again, his comparison is Magic because he was a ball distributor. Jordan was a guy who just won. And he did. He plays center. He can be a forward. He can handle the ball, much like Magic. I mean, Michael and Kobe were, give me the ball. I'm going to beat you. And I'm going to beat your mother. And I'm going to take your sister out. And I'm going to take your dog. I'm going to punt it off the bridge like Baxter in Anchorman. That's the way those guys played. How do you think he's better than Michael? You had better teams and you lost championship games. I'll give you a pass on worse ones when your team wasn't as good and you're that much better. You just carried teams. I get it. Maurice, I think 10 points is too much for Mississippi State. LSU covers tonight. LSU is bad. How minus 1,000, Maurice? I mean, you got to be joking, right? Because this stuff just gets you banned from my chat. How are we going to lay 1,000? Miz Loyola MD +8. Townsend. Let me pull out the lines here. Loyola, Maryland. Against Army. Getting 8. Yep, I lean a little Loyola. I should have added them to the chat here. I got a little mark next to them. Townsend versus Buck -16. I'm sorry, Bucknell is playing Navy. So Townsend 16 now versus Hampton. It's 15.5. I mean, I don't hate it. They're that much better. Hampton is still making their way into CA. You want to lay 16? I'm going to say no to that. But Bucknell in the 9. This isn't. I get wanting to take Bucknell. I totally understand this one. I just I see a Navy team laying 9.5. I think they're begging to take Bucknell. Colgate again. That was a 12 yesterday. The Raiders should win this one. I'm not. I mean, I liked a couple of these added games. This one's not making the money here. We got here money earning Furman and VMI under 148. I don't know about that. Furman has just been crushing it lately. 901 ATS, 2-6 for VMI. Furman's just gonna come out and score here. I kind of like the over. Maurice, Tennessee Vandy just played a couple weeks ago. Tennessee won by 9 home, Wise line 10 on the road. Well, because they're good. And Vandy is bad. I mean, Tennessee's a top 5 team. Let's see here. January 10th, 77-68. They were 16-point favorites in that game. 16.5. All right. So they won by 9. They were 16. It makes sense. I mean, Vanderbilt. They're shooting. I see 41% on the year. I really want to bet this team. 74-71 beat Mississippi, who's not that good. They lost by 60 to Alabama on the road, scored 44 points. Lost to A&M, lost to UK. I think Tennessee should win this by 10. Lock it at Houston minus 3,500. David, Stony Brook not liking that. They're terrible. Utah State, I like. Yeah, but here again, Stony's favored over a Monmouth team that's just, and again, if Monmouth was a 5 or 6, I said this last night on Look Ahead Lines, I would have grabbed Monmouth here at 5 or 6. At 3, I'm not grabbing Monmouth. Yeah, they're a little hot. They've won a couple games in a row here, but no thanks. No thanks. They are terrible. Utah State, again, we have a unranked versus ranked winner here. Thoughts on the Hall versus Creighton? Creighton off double OT win. Hall been playing better. Yeah, as much as I like Creighton, I do kind of lean to the Hall here. And it's gone up. It was 3.5 last night. So I will lean to the 4 there. Richard P's here, hitting the like button. Appreciate it. The old Timmy. Best bet, C money. St. Joe's money line. I think we said Joe's the other night, didn't we? Did we say St. Joe's the other day? I'm pretty sure. It's tough. The games kind of run together when I'm doing shows here, but I think we said to take them the other day. Let me pull up who they played against LaSalle. Yeah, and they end up losing outright at home. Terrible. Now you got a low shy team. I'll take Joe's here. What's this line? 730. They're a little dog today here, huh? Okay, I could do that. Seton Hall money line, sure. Monmouth money line. I do not like Monmouth. Wilmington plus 9.5 against Charleston. That's a big. I don't really hate that one. Lean Tulsa 28. Way too many. I mean, Tulsa. It is a lot of points here, but you also got a team that has 5 wins. And it's a Houston team. We've seen Houston. I mean, some of their scores. They're in a game. It's close. You have a road game up next. I mean, and again, that's not a rivalry. It's in state. It's SMU. You want to take 28? I'm not going to hate it because they haven't covered anything close to this in a while. They're kind of just doing their thing. 30 is a whole lot of points. FYI, Mac game's been over 5-1 yesterday. I've been cashing with the Eastern Michigan and the over. Mac, so they went 5-1 yesterday. See, you didn't mention anything yesterday for these, Miz, because the other day they didn't get there. I think they went 2-3. Tate great. Stony under and lean Stony. Yes. That West Virginia has to be a play after Iowa State coming off Kansas win. Yeah. I mean, come on. Kansas, Iowa State's like a top 15 team or something per rankings. You know, I love those rankings. David says, Stony Brook, I would not bet with your money. All right, Dave. We're going to see what happens. Tetragrad, also like Notre Dame, even though they're a roller coaster. But yeah, Notre Dame, I want nothing to do with the coaches leaving. No, thank you. Michigan over Nebraska. You know, I said to take Nebraska the other day. I'm going to still ride with Nebraska there. Hofstra, I like, yes. St. Joe's, St. Joe's is up to 5 now? This was a 3. It's 5? Wow. Don't know what to say about that. That is a little too much. I mean, who's that? Somebody out for St. Joe's? Why is that 5? This should be like a 2. Stephen Porter, if you like KC, then wouldn't it be better to wait and see if it goes up? It is, Steve, but you know, for me personally, for the chat, I bet that I have something else going. I got a side bet on that. I do got some props, but because people ask, they bring it up in chat who I'm leaning. So that's why I just put KC up now. I mean, that's why I just posted it. Can I wait if I'm betting on game day? And I don't even know. I want to see how things come out closer to Sunday. If I'm going to bet KC, if I get more points, you know, people. I say all the time here. People don't want to bet a week ahead of time for NFL. They don't want to bet futures. The majority of the money is going to come in game day, Sunday, Saturday night into Sunday. And that's where I get Super Bowl. It's the last game. Can I get some extra points, extra plus money on KC there? We'll see. But I've not bet on the Super Bowl before in the past. I mean, and if I'd like the Kansas City Niner game, I was just live betting that under. Same with the Tampa Kansas City. I had Kansas City there against Tampa. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start jumping on this under all game long. So I know people want to bet it because it's a Super Bowl. I mean, you don't have to, especially now with all the props and in-game. Man, never had in-game back in the day. Gabe, can't find Eagles over 1.5 4th down conversions. That's because that's not an Eagle bet. That is a game bet over 1.5 4th down conversions. I'll see if I can. I see where I'm not sure where I wrote down from. It's either. I'll try to find it. I was gonna say it could be Will Hill or BetMGM, but then again, I was on an offshore site that had a whole list of props. It was always be late night money to me, Gabe. Yeah, late night money. I think I just call it late night money. You know, because the look headlines is really just kind of set to that Sunday. Michael, thoughts on Florida against Bama? I got the under 148.5. Sidewise. I mean, stuff's getting in front of Bama. Bama's looked really good. We saw Florida beat Tennessee at home. That's home, though. It's different than playing on the road, right? I say this. College roads, different animal. I mean, Florida's 3-4 on the road. Bama's 11-0. Let's look at this matchup real fast here. What do we got? Bama won by 13 back on January 5th. Florida's in off the Kentucky loss. Bama beat LSU by 10. Ho-hum kind of game there. Again, I like the under because Florida's just been an under team all year. Road team is 21-5 in the series, so there's that going on there, and I'm getting double digits. Bama's got a road game versus Auburn up next. A little tougher, you know. If you want to lean Gators in the under, for me, it's all under. Tate, Higgs Rapid Truth, I told you LeBron's great. Yes, the greatest. No. That's it. I mean, and the younger crews, you guys are going to come in here. The young guys are like, oh, my goodness. No, that's what you see all the time. I mean, I see guys take off. How are you good? You couldn't even, you couldn't even play back in the day. You wouldn't last. You got to take off now. Charles Barkley. You're out to 3 in the morning, Charles. I got a game tomorrow. Not sleeping, I'm dead. Goes in, double, 25, 15. These guys today, soft. Soft as tissues. Eric, hey, Higgs, I West Virginia, Utah State. Like I said yesterday, yeah, easy plays right there. You're just going to jump right on those. Those are like automatics for me. As I say on like a Saturday, Friday, when I start doing the games, first thing I do, I go to the top 25 kind of matchups, and I'm looking at home teams. What home team am I taking over a top 25 team? It's an auto play. 7 days a week for decade plus. He's coming in. Drexel. Who's Drexel got? Against Delaware, leading a little Drexel Dragons there, +2. Okay, I don't mind. It's a pick 'em kind of game there. Belmont Racers. I like Belmont myself. Utah State. Yes, West Virginia. Okay, I can do all these with you, Heath. Okay, Fordham's playing well since the starting freshman guard Richardson. Line up to 6 for UMass. I'm laying off this one. Yeah, I like Fordham. It was 6. I saw a 7 actually this morning as well, but I still like the Rams. They just win. Listen, and back to Mass. I think like Frank Martin's over there now. That program will be good. He's just got to get his guys in there, because that guy could. I mean, did he take South Carolina to a Final Four? The guy could coach. He just needs his players. Gabe St. Joe's. That line. Someone said it's a 5 now. That's a weird line to me. I don't want to get involved with that because at that point I'm going to crappy. Ilshai on that matchup. I'm thinking Loyola Chicago. No, not Illinois Chicago, Loyola Chicago. I'm sorry. Duquesne. The Dukes, Duquesne. Where are we at here for Duquesne? They got Valpo. What do they got there? George Mason? Who's the guy? Who's Duquesne playing? George Mason? Four? It's 4.5. I got this right around 5. Second game on the road for Mason. Duquesne's coming home after splitting on the road. Big win at GW. Dropped to 94 on GW. Road team in the underdog. 8-2 and 73 and 7-3 ATS. So I don't know. Based on that trend, I might lean a little dog when I'm looking at a 15-5 road dog. Working for you there. Maybe Mason's a play there, especially with the line at it's come down from 4.5. If it's it's 5. You're saying now it's 5.5. I don't have it right in front of me. 5.5. Holding steady, I guess. I mean, I'm not against Duquesne, but like I said, those kind of numbers there, and you have two programs that you're not sending guys to the NBA. You're not lead coaches. It's a little more stable. I see a trend there. I might be a little more active to play it. Pounded Anthony. LeBron played in a league that doesn't play defense. Very good. He broke that record because he's physical and tough, doesn't sit out. Yeah. I mean, and he sits. I mentioned the load management. A 38-year-old guy who's been in a dozen finals or whatever. You want to take a day off for once in a while, it's fine. That being said, there is no defense, and he is a monster compared to some of these lean fellas. Stephen, Kobe's bigger problem is that he would play just enough to win, but often not cover. Well, he didn't care about cover. And you think LeBron cares about covering? If you're gonna say that about Kobe not covering, then what's LeBron doing? Is he point shaving? Is that what he's doing? Is he part of the? I got the script. I'm gonna break a record and lose to the Thunder at home. Oh my goodness. Brian's coming in here. Morning, Craig. How are you? I'm good, Brandon. Best bet team in the NBA is awful. These guys you could tell are not at all interested in playing hard for 82 games. And this is why I say no betting allowed, especially regular season. I mean, we could find a spot here and there. Like, again, I got the Jazz here in the video tonight. And I tell you, I lose 31 and 35 with NBA. Minus 670. You see the picks, they come up here. I just can't. The disinterest, the load management, the rest of guys who sit in pampered with their chefs and Everything else, stop. I'll see you. I'll see you in May, NBA. If I'm going to take you seriously, I don't take you seriously. I think it's a joke. I'd much rather bet college basketball, where the kids are out here playing hard every day. Pounded Sports, Anthony. No NBA team would win versus Pistons in the early '90s with Rodman. No way. Who's beating that team? Who's tough? There's no tough teams. Miz, I'm waiting for the first college scandal with legalized gambling. Well, I'm not going to say could have been a scandal last year with a team in the Pac-12 that players were betting on games. But listen, you have kids. Here's at least where you got the no money coming in for these guys. At least they can make a little money. You're not going to stop a kid's, a marginal kid, right? You're not a guy who's going to be going to the NBA. He's not going to jeopardize that. Crap could happen, And then what? This is why we can't have sports betting. This is why you have sports betting. So if it does happen, you'll see it happen. That's how they found the Arizona State kids before, because they're coming to Vegas and they sniffed that out. Brandon, did you hear what happened to the joint computer? I don't even know what tech that is. Brandon, tell me what happened. Jordan scoring 50s on these guys today. Really? He come in today and score 44 a night. Ridiculous. Michael, taking Klay Thompson to score 30 tonight, plus 175, his 33rd birthday homecoming. He grew up in Portland watching his dad play for the Blazers. I don't hate it. Makes sense. Home crowd. Get it done, right? I might say home crowd. It's hometown. Okay, Michigan over 137.5 against Nebraska. I'm going to say okay to that because I think Nebraska is going to put up some points. So, yes. West Virginia under. I'm never going to say no to a West Virginia under. They just can never shoot. Drexel 3.5 against Delaware. Why not? Or money line, yes. Wofford, I do like the under in that game. I got 145 under. Penn under 125. Where's the Penn game? Let's find some Penn State. Penn State against Wisconsin. Here we go. All right. 728. What do we got here for this? 125? Oh. I could go under that. It was 126.5. I still like the under there. Temple 2.5. I could do Temple. Yes. Charleston Southern plus the 4. I do like Charleston Southern, right? Who they got up? They got Upstate today? I do like Charleston Southern, yes. And Murr plus 5. I'm guessing Murr is American. No? Who's Murr? Mercer, maybe? I don't even know. We'll figure it out eventually. Eric, Magic could have been a much higher score if need be. The dude was a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, he didn't have to be. I mean, he had Hall of Famers all around him. Pounded Sports. NBA in the past was fun to watch. They need to bet it. These days, ratings are lowest ever. Everybody's in trouble. No one talks about commissioner in the game. The betting is what gets people to watch these games. Oh, let's get a first basket. The quality is horrendous. It's terrible. Thank goodness they have betting, because that's all people want to do is live bet, because the game is crap. The game is terrible. Let's pull up the standings here of this great league. Oh, we have to have parity is so good. Parity stinks. I want the best. I want to be, who wants to be a loser? I don't understand that mentality one bit. Everybody should be the same. No. Again, people like to reward nonsense with your bad beat refunds and everybody gets a trophy crap. No. Look at this. I mean, how many good teams are there? Boston got a good record. Sixers. I mean, heck, the Nets are 59%. I mean, these teams, How many are under 500? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Like half the league. Because then you got teams that like barely 500, like Minnesota. 2 games over New Orleans. 3 games Dallas. I mean, it's a joke. Yeah, and people want to bet their money on this. Hi, I might not play today. Stephen Porter, Wichita against Central Florida. What happened to Central Florida? I didn't like Wichita this year, but Central Florida's fallen off a cliff. Notre Dame, I can't. What do we bet Notre Dame with their lame duck coach? No, thank you. Spiders, yes. You know we like Richmond. Tulsa in 28, yes. Nebraska, yes. Valpo against Indiana State getting 13. You want to take the points of Valpo 13? Sure. Seton Hall against Creighton. Is that Seton Hall +2? Is that what we're doing, right? Because I know Sacred Heart isn't playing today. It's got to be Seton Hall. It's down to 2. I thought it was. Somebody said it was 4. You want to take 13 with BC? I'm not going to say no to that, believe it or not. I mean, Virginia Tech's a team we play on when they're playing the upper echelons of the ACC, right? When they're a little favored against, like we had them against Virginia outright winner. So, yes, let's take Boston College here. Take the great. Tennessee was also looking ahead to the Kentucky game when they only beat Vandy by 9. Yeah, you get a game on deck. And this one here, too. You have Auburn on the road, a little better program, right, Auburn? Let me pull out my little sheet here. Where's Auburn? Right outside top 25. They're a top 30 team on the road. That might be a spot. Excuse me, a little hiccup there. Let me look to back Auburn next game out if I'm getting a couple points. Miz like a Florida in the under. I definitely like the under in that Florida game. Michael, unless you're old enough to have watched Jordan play, you cannot say LeBron's better than Jordan. Yeah. I mean, the guy lost. And you want to say that, him and Wade were trying to figure out who's in charge of the team. You lost to Jason Terry. And Dirk. Okay, Dirk's good. I don't think Dirk's better than LeBron. That series separates Jordan from LeBron. No way they're losing that. No, it's not happening. Temple 2.5. I do like Temple. Yes. Not a smooth guy. Take Temple there. Reynolds, who do you feel more confident about, Belmont or Stoney? Probably Stoney, just because they're home. And Monmouth, again, they've put together a couple. Nice little momentum, but I'll take Stoney. And Reynolds, let me tell you something. If this is where you're going to be putting your money on these 2 games, I'm going to tell you.
Stop it. Get some help.
I mean, that's not really. I don't know. Why would you want to? Out of all the games on the board today, I mean, West Virginia, Utah State, Wyoming, even. Wyoming over those guys. Michael, MJ is the GOAT. I'm not even sure LeBron is second. That's all debate. It's Jordan and everybody else. Jose, how you been? Bryant minus Bryant at H -5. Bryant at the half. What are we doing here, Bryant? First half? Is that first half, Bryant? Over that's what we're doing. Utah Valley, first half -3. I'm not hating the Utah Valley because I got that total today. I kind of like the under in Utah Valley. So you want to do that? Sure. Hofstra, yes. Grand Canyon, first half. I'll do Grand Canyon. New Mexico State's a hot mess. Chris, like in Vandy plus 15.5, Wisconsin 8.5 in a teaser. Well, I'm not going to say no. We're getting a bunch of points. I mean, Wisconsin 8.5. I'm not going to say Northwestern is going to come out and who they got? Northwestern or Penn State? Penn State, right? They got Penn State today. I'm sorry. I said Northwestern. Am I thinking Penn State's winning by 10? No. T-Money, what do you think about the Warriors at plus 120? Portland's just so bad and play no D. I kind of like Michael brought up the Clay player prop. I kind of like that. 30 points plus 175. Again, I don't want to bet the Warriors. As I told you, if reverse Michigan and you over yesterday. Yes, you did. I should have brought the pen out for the if reverse, Miz. I should have. Give you your credit for that one. IUPUI plus 17, yes. Lehigh plus the 12. Want to do a little Lehigh against Colgate? I'm not hating the dog. Seton Hall, yes. And Florida State, yes. They're locks. Just soaking. Yeah. Florida State against Syracuse today. Yes. Florida State, I'm telling you, I'm going to bet them to win the ACC tournament. Michael, thoughts on the Cuse? Florida State, no. Do not like Syracuse. James is in the house. Yo, how are you today? Michael, thoughts on Oklahoma State and Tech? I don't know. I guess I would lean with the home team here. Cowboys. Moneyline Markel, I think everyone has their own goats. Yeah, I agree with that, Markel. Seaport DraftKings set up props a lot better than most betting sites. Yeah, I just when I go through the sites, I try to print out a bunch of stuff so I could compare, get a couple like $5, $10 better here and there. Moneyline Markel, I agree. I don't think Broad is the greatest. He's a great all-around player. Yeah, I'm good. Well, again, he does a lot. Although I don't know, there's a guy in Denver who's doing a lot. The guy that triple. Tim, your guy had a triple-double in 18 minutes last night.
Yes, he did. The Nuggets also scored 79 points in the first half. And then he ended up finishing with like 20 points, 16 rebounds, 13 assists, or 13 rebounds, 16 assists, whatever it was. He ended up finishing with the crazy numbers, and he didn't even play the fourth quarter.
Unbelievable.
Jokic is MVP. Anybody who says otherwise, I don't know what you're watching.
Any fights for the Rockets or Kings tonight? I don't know. You think we'll have some fights tonight?
No, but Rockets outright. Let's get it.
Take the Rockets. Take the grade over in a Rockets King game. We're saying Rockets outright. Take that Rockets money line. Gabe, UCF plus 3 at DraftKings. Tough winning at Wichita State, but I still like the Central Florida. I like them to start the year, and I was down on Wichita State. And listen, they're 12-11, but Central Florida, look at it. 5 in a row at Cincy, fine. Temple overtime at home. Losing to Houston, that's fine. South Florida by 13. Lose to South Florida by 13. I know it's a rivalry game. You lose by 13, you're a favorite in that game. I don't like what I've seen on the road. Last game, lose by 9. Central Florida, 13. Tulane, 8. ECU, they won by 3. And that was, again, off a close Houston game on the road. I don't know. How about an under? How about an under in this game? Last time they played, 97 points last time these two guys played. Totals 132. 97 last game. And as I mentioned, not shooting the ball well. Not shooting well. So you needed 70, and that was with OT. St. Joe's plus 4.5 DraftKings. Otherwise, it's a 4 everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of getting off that St. Joe's. As much as we kind of like them, I'm going to say no to St. Joe's here. Michael, thoughts on GW at home versus Richmond? Nah, I like Richmond. I'm a Spider guy, not because I had my cousins went there. All my 3 cousins, my family. Joe Hoff coming in. Belmont couldn't cover versus that powerhouse Evansville. That doesn't mean anything. Don't worry about that. That's a game. You're playing a team that has like 4 wins. You're just kind of going through the motions. Evansville is 4-21. Missouri State, we've had them a couple times. Don't be fooled by their 12-12 record. It's a tough program. That's why the line flipped from 1-1 or whatever it was. It's 1.5 now. Brandon, what do you think about the Astros for February 25th? We got a line for a February 25th spring training game? Or is this when they show up for pitchers and catchers, Brandon? Robert, scandal will be through the refs, if anywhere. It's always a scandal with the refs, right? The refs are rigging games. It's a holding call. They're not calling penalties. They're calling roughing. It's a holding. Rob the refs. Who cares? If you think If you think it, don't even bet it. Don't bet it. Do something else with your money. David, good afternoon. I like the Celtics first quarter minus 1.5 points today. A first quarter bet on Boston over the Sixers. Let's see here. What do we like in this game? I'm going to say no, just because Philly off a loss. They want to come in, maybe start out a little strong. I'm going to say no to that one. Don's in the house. KC did not show up last night. I should have been off. Oh, K-State. What are you talking about? K-State did show up last night. Oh, K-State did show up. I should have been off them. Yeah, K-State. I did that with Jesse Shule and Ross Benjamin. Said take K-State. Rob Franklin's in the house. Good morning. Belmont, Missouri State over to 136. Yes. Rob Franklin. Monmouth +4. No. State stinks. F them. Lost by parlay. I have Pelicans and CB State +7. Lost by 13. It was never in the game. Here's the thing. At least you had it. You had other losers in a parlay. So at least in that case, you could have lost more than what you did. Because I always say, going 3-1 and losing money is terrible. In this case, you go 1-2 or whoever. It saves you a little bit. But this is why I don't do parlays. IUPUI, yes, take the points with IUPU. They've been covering IUPUI. Now, the start of the year, nobody loved IUP. People are like, oh boy, these guys are bad. I get it.
I've loved them all year. I just want to say that. Thank you very much.
They have covered, I think, 10 or 12 or something like that down the stretch here. Markel, we stop comparing LeBron and MJ, two different players. It says Moneyline Markel. Rob Franklin, MJ greatest player, LeBron greatest career. Well, the guy played longer. When you play longer, and you play in a league where, I don't have his games up. How many games has this guy played in the last 5 years during the regular season? He takes half the season off. That's the thing. Because you had another guy who'd be like, no. He wanted to go out every night and show everybody he was awesome and just beat down people 82 games. Markel, if you want to be tackled, nobody will stop at Dirk. Are you? All right, so I got to go after the show. I'm going to look up the Dirk finals. I got to look that up, Markel. That'll be for today. We'll talk about that. Rob Franklin, Memphis -6.5. The Tigers over South Florida. I don't know here. I want to maybe lean a little bit to the Bulls. No, maybe not. I sort of lean there. I want to see who Memphis plays. They're at home against Temple next. Yeah. Temple, yes, though. We like Temple there, Rob. Jonas, Providence -13. No, I can't. I know that Georgetown is a bad team. I just can't lay 13 in Providence. I can't. I can't lay 13 with a lot of teams. I don't want to lay double digits in a conference game. Vermont versus Maine. I like Maine, believe it or not. The problem is, and I think I wrote this down, I want to take Maine. They played on January 19th, and Vermont beat them by 20, 66-45. Michael, thanks, guys. Have a great day. Got to get back to work. Mike, I appreciate you popping in. Have a good one. Any thoughts on Penn State? Whiskey, Penn State -4, almost lean over. Now, I like the under. Under, if I'm doing anything in that game. Loyola Army, under 136. Rob Franklin, I'm going to say I'll stick with you on that under. I kind of like Loyola with the 8, but not betting. Can we bet anywhere if there will be any sort of refund for a Super Bowl bet? Absolutely. That'll be good because somebody will be whining online. I can't. Fordham lost 81-73 last game against UMass, says Steve Porter. More reason to love them here. At home, revenge spot. Let's go, Rams. Get it done, Fordham. Tater Gray, Tim, does IUPU have poopy play frequency? Did I hear you say under Wichita State? Well, IUPUA, is it a poopy game where the team's covered 8-10? I don't know if that's a poopy game. And Tim, you like under Wichita State?
I'm not really betting totals right now. It's all just sides right now. I'm doing pretty well with it.
Tater Gray,
IUPUI, let's get it.
My college hoops totals are 41 and 26 on the year, 61%. And I just happen to have two of them in the chat. Stony Brook, 3.5. Belmont, 1.5. West Virginia, 3 or 3.5. Alabama, under to 148.5. Utah Valley, under 137.5. They're my totals. You got them here. 61% on the season. And Utah State, -2. In case you're interested. Stephen Porter. LeBron's problem is he's a ball hog. Kobe didn't care if he was the one that scored, not as long as they got the job done. Exactly. Win, win, win. What color Gatorade? Asked Brandon. I have no idea. I mean,
it will be red when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. There you go.
There hasn't been a red one in years, they say. I guess it's due. Robert, Wright State laying that many points at home. I can't lay that exactly. I mean, you want to lay 17, 18 points? I mean, and listen, I think IUPU stinkies off a overtime game too. Didn't they go to overtime last game out and they won out? I think they won outright too.
The last game that they played, they won by 15 points against
Green Bay.
Because I remember having them that day.
Yes. I was trying to think who was the big dog the other day. It was a dog that won outright early.
Wasn't it? It was Green Bay.
Oh, Green Bay beat Milwaukee
against Milwaukee, who was
that's
18-point
fave. Yes,
it was part of my lock of the day parlay.
Yes, you're lucky I don't write those down, boy. Oh my goodness. And somebody's gonna come in here and not realize that's just like the joke of the chat, but.
It's 100% a joke, guys. Like we don't. I
Green Bay, Milwaukee, Rob. Yes,
I put in the chat earlier. Houston minus what 3,500. It's all a joke. Don't actually take that stuff seriously. We're making fun of people.
All right, we're coming back late night Monday tonight. You don't want to miss out. We'll be doing Kansas City player props tonight, and then I'll have all three done: Chiefs, Eagles, game props, and then. The next 2 days, I'll just start putting them up in the chat. We'll be talking about them more and more. College Hoops is posted here. Twitter, Mr. Sean Higgs. If you're not already on the podcast channels, come give me why wouldn't you give me a follow? I don't understand why you can't just download the freaking app. Cost you nothing. 0. That's it. I'm out of here. See you tonight.